got for the haters?
The Seahawks, quote unquote, losing their way. And so I got an interesting take on this, because I don't think anybody should be surprised that the end of the Seahawks run has finally surfaced. I don't think anybody should be surprised by that, especially when you're talking about a salary cap league, number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, you're talking about a league where the quarterback is the more important position on the field.
Mm-hmm.
So when it's time to pay the quarterback, other areas of the team are gonna take a nosedive.
So
in a sense.
When did Russell Wilson get his contract?
Russell Wilson got his contract maybe a year ago, maybe no more than 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
I would say. But I mean, even then you had to know, regardless of if it was last year or 2 years ago, that at some point when it was going to be time to pay some of these guys, and I'm not just talking about the Legion of Boom, I'm talking about other important, key guys on the squad as
Mm-hmm.
well. You're not going to be able to pay everybody. So what happens, your team takes a step back, which the Seahawks did last year. Granted, they were 9-7,
Mm-hmm.
but they missed the postseason.
Yeah.
So here we are. It's the off-season, training camp's about to start. No Michael Bennett, no Cliff Averill. I forgot Cliff Averill's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Sherman's with the Niners.
Yeah.
Earl Thomas is still with the team, but he's begging to,
Mm-hmm.
for them to either sign him or give him away.
Yeah.
Cam Chancellor has to retire, and rightfully so.
And
That's a bad
Brandon
injury.
Brown is shooting niggas.
Yeah.
Choking people, choking women in the carpet in front of the kids.
Right. So, I mean, all of those situations certainly don't equal up to it being a money issue. I mean, some of those guys, it's a money issue, but with others, it's a trust issue with the coach. And Marshawn Lynch, we haven't even talked about Marshawn Lynch, which I think was a part of, they weren't a part of the Legion of Boom, but he was the guy that made that offense go.
Yeah.
So he ain't there no more. So this team takes a dip.
Well, I don't think anybody's surprised that the Legion of Boom or the Seahawks run is over. I don't think nobody's surprised at that.
Right.
I think, and this is, it's funny, I was listening to First Take on the way up here.
Mm-hmm.
They underachieved.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they had a squad and a good quarterback under a rookie contract and only got one title out of it.
Right, and should have had 2 titles.
2 and maybe 3. Out of 5, I'm just.
Well, I gotta agree.
They made some very.
I gotta agree.
They made some missteps in these years.
Right.
I
gotta agree.
Offensive line has been terrible.
Yep.
Terrible.
And Dwayne Brown can't fix all that.
Dwayne
He's
Brown's
good.
old.
He's good, but
Yeah.
he can't fix all that.
No, he's
Yeah.
that just happened this year.
Yeah.
Let's not forget about the 2 years prior when the offensive line wasn't good.
Right.
So the offensive they have yet to it don't even seem like they've made like what's the first year what was that they played the Broncos the
Super Bowl 2013 season.
Okay. So but they've been good since, let's say, about 2010. What year was that year when Marshawn Lynch beat the Saints?
The stiff arm,
Yeah.
Tracy Porter,
Yeah.
or that wasn't Tracy Porter. That was
I thought it was Tracy Porter.
I think that was Roman Harper.
Okay, well,
I think it was Roman.
DBs.
I think it was Roman Harper. One of those guys.
Yeah.
One of those guys.
But
yeah,
that's when they.
But that wasn't really like the Legion of Boom era.
No, you wouldn't say.
I wouldn't say that because that was still Hasselbeck.
Let's say 2012. Let's say 2012.
12. That
Okay,
I think to me that was the first year when everything
2012
started.
to about
16,
Yeah.
2016.
Okay.
So a 5-year run.
Yeah.
That's a good run.
They should have had more rings in that run. Is what my point is.
Yeah, I would have to agree because I
Yeah.
was one of the guys that said they could be a dynasty, and I thought that they killed the dynasty chances when Russell Wilson threw at the 1-yard line. I thought they killed that chance.
Yeah.
So I can't disagree there, but it should be no surprise to anybody.
Another point that somebody brought up on First Take, I think it was I don't know, but Pete Carroll's coaching approach.
Mm-hmm.
And I pose this question to you and see if you could answer it, because I couldn't either, and nobody on First Take could answer it.
Right.
How many great coaches have had the lack? I don't want to say the lackadaisical, approach. Like let players play, let them be men.
Let the personalities be what they are.
How many of those coaches have had like dynasty type runs or like amazing runs?
Well, let's go through the dynasties. I mean, the Patriots. Belichick is not a guy that just lets you do what he wants.
Right.
The Cowboys. I mean, who would you say? Would you say Switzer or Jimmy Johnson? Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I totally agree.
Switzer only got one.
Jimmy Johnson. Did he let guys be themselves? No. And the personalities he had to deal with.
Yeah.
The '80s. Who Bill Walsh.
Bill Walsh. I'm not versed in his coaching approach.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then the Steelers in the '70s. Chuck Noll.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not a lot of dynasties, or even look at not so much the dynasties, but look at the coaches that have won multiple Super Bowls. And I'll give you one example: Tom Coughlin.
Yeah.
He won 2 Super Bowls. Not a guy that was just going to let you do what you wanted to do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
What about? Well, he only got one. I was going to say Gruden, but Gruden only got one.
Gruden only got one. There's not really a lot. There's not a lot of guys that you could say have let their players really freely do what they want. I mean, on a championship team, nonetheless, there's not a lot of guys that would that you could say do that.
So it's not to say that they I don't think anybody's blaming Pete Carroll for the demise of the or the underachieving of the Seahawks from 2012 to 2016. But what I do think is that A, like you said, free agency is going to play a part, but B, some, like Sherman said, some decisions, that offensive line is key, man. You don't want your dude. You don't want your QB.
Just because Wilson can run, don't mean you want him running throughout his whole career.
Yeah.
He's done a great job of keeping himself from injury. He's done a great job of doing that.
Man. Thank God for Sierra.
Word.
Thank God for Sierra.
Thank God for the haters, though. I thank God for the haters. Thank God for the haters, though.